Sustainability is our passion. I've been working in it for 20 years. Just recently, I stood down as Dean at Waikato to take up a part-time position there as Professor of Sustainability and Leadership, so that we can focus on working with enterprises, working with organisations to help them transform, to create transformational stories towards sustainability. Through that journey, through that experience, we've become passionately convinced that sustainability is the necessary step for business success. And one of the key things that I want to share today with you is a wish that we can reframe the whole thing of sustainability issues to opportunities that we can for creating the future through different ways of working together, through collaboration rather than competition, through working together to create the future sustainably. And what my hope is that we can persuade more and more organisations that they can do well by doing good. So here's my key thought. For every social and environmental issue, there is an opportunity to create value for people and society by resolving that issue. So reframing, I think, is the name of the game here. We're moving into a new era where it's going to be extraordinarily difficult to attract and retain great people in our organisations. What we're finding is that the newer generations of folks coming in are looking very carefully at the organisation they're going to choose to belong to. So in a global demand and a shortfall of talented people to run our organisations and our enterprises, how are we going to attract and retain them? One of the ways of doing that is adopting a sustainability approach where we demonstrate what we're doing for the environment in an authentic way. We demonstrate what we're doing for a society in an authentic way, so people feel proud to be part of that organisation. They want to belong. Yes, they want the economic benefits that derive from that, of course, in order to live and enjoy life, and they want to feel that they're part of something worthwhile, something purposeful. This applies just as much to councils as it does to business organisations. It applies to every organisation. People are increasingly want to be proud of the entity that they're part of. And it's going to be increasingly necessary to adopt this approach in order to attract and retain customers. I'm worried that in New Zealand we haven't got this message quick enough. It is happening and transforming dramatically quickly in Europe and in the US and some of our key markets. We might like to think of ourselves as clean and green, but relative to the speed of transformation elsewhere in some of our key markets, we run a deep risk of being left behind in this domain. So it's most urgent that we really get this message. And it's not going to be so much a question of what consumers choose. It is that. And it's what the retailers choose to edit out of their shelves. And so in order to get shelf space, it's increasingly going to be necessary to have a sustainability backstory to authenticate where our products come from and the source of origin and what they're all about. New Zealand uses around about 3 planets. If everyone lived at the same level as New Zealanders did, we'd need 3 planets to enable that to happen. So, we're not quite as clean and green as we might think. But actually, we don't have an energy problem in New Zealand. We have an energy wastage problem. We waste more than half of it. So the best source of new energy is stopping wasting the stuff that we've got already. So there are huge opportunities if we think in a sustainable way, which is what I'm encouraging us to do. We balance 4 dimensions. We balance we integrate the idea of the environment on one hand, social equity on the other, economic value, and we add into this the idea of ethics, because it's ethics as a choice to live. I loved Anne's choice of using philosophy. This is exactly the right word. Sustainability is a philosophy of life. Ethics is a choice on how to live. So we underpin these relationships with ethical choices, because that's what they are. Ethical choices about intergenerational equity and the sort of future that we're going to be leaving for our kids and for our grandkids. So what we've got to do, though, is to think, well, what is the next way in which we can take this forward? And one of the things that I want to posit to you to reflect on during the course of the day is the need to think about transforming the idea even of sustainability and linking, well, what are we trying to achieve here? And I think it boils down to the idea of happy people living on a healthy planet. Just do something. Do something. It's really important that each and every one of us takes these issues on board and does something. Many of you will know this issue, and if we could get that message out to those that we're associated with, if each of us tell 10 people, that's 1,000 people who can start to get this vitally important message. We can create value through sustainable enterprise. How can you get rid of waste? Once you start thinking about how you get rid of waste, waste is just materials. Materials are cost, you therefore get rid of cost. So that's a vitally important thing. Energy is a key issue in most organisations. We spend a lot of money on it. We spend, on average, about twice as much as we actually need to. We can do some really simple things to reduce our energy consumption, and we should do that. Measure, reduce and offset carbon emissions. That's going to become very important, particularly if you're in the tourism or if you're in the food business, but for all of us really. And embed sustainability into our people practices. And better still, get your people to adopt personal sustainability practices, as well as what the community can do, as well as what your organisation can do. Think what you can do individually on a day-by-day basis to move towards a sustainable household, because if all of the households in the world were sustainable, then the whole world would be. We can make sustainability choices daily with our wallets. We can choose to buy things that have an authentic sustainability story, or we can choose to buy from organisations that actually don't care much about people or the environment.